Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 44 in our Oxygen Not Included Redux series. I am going to be doing a lot of progress off camera here because it's going to be a while of just pumping water. But I wanted to show you where we were at with these liquid chambers. So the first one's working great. We're up to between 5,000 and 6,000 kilograms, and it's just going to keep pumping in there. The second one I had closed off. I got it built. I still have to put the outer shell around it, but I closed it off so that the water couldn't get in from the outside, and I pumped all the water out of it into here. So this is empty now. So once I start pumping in polluted water, the off gas itself, it'll fill this room with polluted oxygen, which will fill up the tiles all around it, plus the liquid vent up here, and we'll be all set so we can start pumping gas in there. I need to set these back to above 500. I had them set at above 0 so that I could completely empty the water out. We keep these at above 500, making sure that there's enough water in here that the gas won't spread completely out, and then when it fills back up, not be able to fill the tile up. That's the reason they're there. I put another pump in down here, and it's all the way down at the bottom. I'm digging across to clear out a nice flat area. We're going to go all the way across here, and then this little 4 or 5 spots here I'll fill in with tile just to push the water up, and that'll all get pumped into this pump, which is now the primary pump pumping water into our storage. And so it's chugging away, pumping water in, but we still have a lot of water to get through. So our duplicant is just finishing up some other commands I gave him. We're going to do a little more work here while we're waiting for it. But what's really cool is because this system is run by solar, that means we can send him back in our rocket, which we're going to do in a little bit because I want to pick up some more things for this foot base. We could keep him here for a while because we still have a good decent amount of oxygen for him, and if we got this set up we could fill the oxygen back up. So really all we're limited by is the amount of food, so he could stay here for another 300 cycles, but I want to send him back to pick up some supplies to bring back here. Another couple of quick things I changed is I had batteries the whole way across here. I don't need that many batteries, it's just a habit to kind of fill them up. Since I don't have any temperature management, I went down to just 2. I'm putting in a third one just to make sure we're keeping up with the power through the night. And then I put some water down so that we have something for temperature transfer because I don't have any gases in here. So when I first built it, I just threw them in. They overheated really quickly and broke, and just wasn't thinking. Now it's working fine. I don't think we're going to get this built until we get some of this water pumped out. I have too many pressure issues to deal with. I don't want to add more to it, and I don't need to get this running yet. I also want to get storage for the gases set up before I do that. But we'll see. I might work on getting that built so that this can work while we're off and heading back to the other colony. Either way, when we come back, we will have a good chunk of water gone, hopefully. So it's going to take, we're pumping out with one pump, and this has, 1,000 kilograms per tile over hundreds and hundreds of tiles. It's going to take a long time to get rid of all this water. But like I said, it can run off the solar power. We don't need to be here for it to run, so it can just keep running. And even if it takes 400 or 500 cycles, it'll get done eventually. And we'll continue to build our other systems around here, and then eventually the water will get pulled up. And then once that is all collected, we'll build more systems using the geysers and things like that. I let things progress here for a little while I worked on some other things, and we've gone through about 100 cycles. I think it's 90. And you can see the water has dropped down quite a bit. The pitcher pump I was using to get water from before was right here. We've gone down about 5.5 levels in the water, slowly just pumping away into here. We're at 36,000 kilograms per tile. and it's holding just fine. So I think this is still working just how I planned it. This one, I still haven't started pumping any of this in. I just wanted to wait until I get the pressure down a little while, because I'm still having pressure issues here. So I'll wait, and then I'll build the rest of this after that. Yeah, see that one, that tile right there is getting pressure problems. I don't understand how that works, because there's plenty of space for the water to move around, but it's fine. What I'm working on up here now is that in that 100 cycles, we've burned through 9 tons of oxygen for our dupe, and I'm concerned that 2.2 tons is not enough to, or is that, I guess that might be 1 ton. I'm not sure how the tons work. Oh no, it's kilograms, so it's 1,000 kilograms per ton. So 2.2 tons isn't going to be enough to get them all the way back home to refuel. So I'm building this. I think I can get this built faster than I can get that rocket back to restock the oxygen. So this I connected, and there's oxygen and hydrogen in here, but there's nowhere for it to go right now. So I connected up power to this gas pump and this gas pump, and then I connected a gas line, and I have it running through a filter, and then I'm going to set it up so that this chamber holds oxygen, this one holds hydrogen, and then I can set up a line to pump our oxygen from here up into our rocket storage. I mean, I'll have to pump it into the chamber and then have it come out, or run the line in, but you know, this is already set up for pumping gas into our storage. So I can just connect our gas input to our chamber, and it'll all process just fine. Oh, my carbon dioxide is backed up inside here. That's because I never set up a way to vent well on the surface on this side. So all I have to do is put that and that. Let's make that. Oh, I'll have to put it upwards. Clicking in the wrong places. I don't want that, that, or that. And then let's make this all priority 9 so that that gets finished right away. That means he'll be able to vent out his carbon dioxide, and he will be able to breathe inside of his home. So once this is all built and the oxygen and hydrogen can get pumped out of here, for now it'll just, like I said, it'll run through a filter so that I get it into the right chambers until I get this stabilized, and then I can just connect it to the proper tanks. And the oxygen I can use to refuel the rocket, hydrogen I can use to finish building this power station that I want to cool with hydrogen, and then I can start pressurizing the base with oxygen, and that'll be good. I am very close to having this pumping gas, but I ran into a problem, a couple of problems. One, you can see the base is filled with hydrogen. It's because I was emptying out these interplanetary payloads because I needed steel, and I forgot that I had sent a couple that have hydrogen in them. I opened up one of the hydrogen ones and released a bunch of hydrogen into the base. No problem. I'll put in a gas pump. I'll pump the hydrogen in here once we finish building our hydrogen thing. I just thought it was funny. The last couple pieces I need, I actually just need this Atmos sensor to be built and connected, require some steel, and I ran out. So I've been opening up these interplanetary payloads in order to get the steel I need. Once that's done, we'll start getting oxygen in, but we definitely need to send the rocket back to our main base so that we can resupply our everything. We're out of steel, we're out of other stuff. The one thing I want to do, I have some glass in here. I want to build a storage for it out on the main base and empty it out of here so that we're not bringing that back, because then I can use that storage space to bring more items with me when I do a return trip. So let's do that real quick before I forget. We're going to put a storage bin We can just put it here. And then once that's built, we'll set that to glass. We'll empty that one out and we'll get it moved down here. I've moved the glass out of our rocket into our storage bay out on Watano, or storage bin, I should say. And there's a couple other things I want to do here before I send our duplicate back home. And so we're working on some of that, but what we need is more steel. So what I've done is I went back to our main colony and I reactivated our interplanetary launcher. So it is picking up radiation, and once it has radiation, it launches steel towards Watano. So we can see we're still set to Watano. We're sending it out whenever we have 200 kilograms of steel, which we do already. I've already launched a couple. So you can see we have these two that are about to land on Watano. And when we come down here, we'll be able to open those up and get some more steel. And the reason that we need the steel, there's one, where's the other one go? The other one landed all the way over here. The reason we need that is because I want to get the power grid here sustainable so that it can keep running without the solar panels. The solar panels will be enough to keep us resupplying it so that we have excess. But I want to also start using the hydrogen to power our oxygen maker so we can start storing large amounts of oxygen here. And then we can get all this hydrogen that escaped from our other... what are these things called? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. The interplanetary payloads. We had a few of those that we sent hydrogen across. We opened those up. Now the hydrogen's in here. I want to clean all that hydrogen up. I want to get a gas pump put in here so it goes to some hydrogen generators so that we can use the hydrogen power when the solar panels are not quite enough to keep things running. Once we get this thing set up so that it's all sustainable with the power, then I'll send our duplicate back home to resupply our rocket. And when we come back, we're going to put our rocket in this platform. So we're going to start building this area based on that. And so that means we're going to be moving these solar panels up to the top of our map instead of down here at the bottom. So quite a bit of things to do to get the power in line, and then we will go from there. I shut down our interplanetary launcher again. I have enough to do what I need to do. In fact, I did most of it already, and I don't want to have little landers all over the place anymore. I'm gonna just empty these out. I set up a storage for steel here so that they get put away. But what I have is, let's look at the automation first. In fact, I need to set this up. I want this to be at 50%. Actually, I think I want it to be this way, and then I want to do 90 here. So I think if that is correct, then it'll kick on when it gets below 50%, and it will fill up until we have 90% power, which means we'll use solar primarily, and then if the power drops below 50%, the hydrogen will kick on until we get it back up to 90%, which means that this will be fine to keep us supplied with power. I have this gas pump here that is pumping the hydrogen out of this room here, and it's almost done. It's got some more to get through. I want to prioritize getting this out of here so that that gas can make its way out, because once I get all the hydrogen out of here, I'm going to set up a vent on this line to vent some oxygen into the room and pressurize it so that we have some gas. And then we'll have an oxygen-rich environment for our base. We can actually set up an atmosuit dock using this system so that duplicates can come in, they'll have their atmosuit when they're out here, and then they'll take it off, and when they come into here, they'll be able to just walk around without the atmosuit on, which will help things out considerably, especially if I'm going to bring back more than one duplicate from the main colony. We are still getting the water line down. It's going into here. We're having no problems with our infinite storage. And I'm working on building a filtration system here, slowly, that I'll be able to start pumping this liquid out and start dumping it into our polluted water storage tank. That way we can seal this system off and have that fuel or fill up our polluted water storage. And then that way we can continue going down until we have all the water emptied out of Watano. So just a few more things to get done before we can go back, but we're still doing just fine with our duplicate here. Now that he has oxygen, he still has 200,000 calories of food, which is enough to last him 200 more cycles if we need him to. Probably won't be here that long. Water's not an issue because we're pumping water in for the toilets. And if we go back out to here, we can see that since we're pumping oxygen in, this is actually filling back up for the return trip. We're 5.8 tons now, which is enough to get us back, but we'll keep going probably till that's full or until we start to run low on food, and then we'll send him back. I emptied all the storage out of here. So the steel is out of here. Yeah, the glass is out of here. This is Atmos suits that we should probably check to see how many we have. We brought a lot because we didn't want to worry about them breaking, so they're all fine. We have plenty of them. When we get back, we can take these worn Atmos suits and get them repaired, and that should be okay. We're going to stock up on a few things to bring back so that we can make this colony more self-sustainable. So we want to bring back what we need to make some food. We want to bring back what we need to grow some reed fiber, and that way we can set up an Atmos suit dock that has a place to repair Atmos suits and all of that. And then once we do that, then we can start building what we're going to build here on this colony. But it's going to take a while and some preparation. So he's taking these, digging these out. That means this gas will be able to get out. And I have this set up so right now everything's running through the filter at the moment. Once this room is empty, the gas from these lines will start pumping through again, and we can start getting this room working, and we can start building the rest of it so that this SPOM is self-powered and working. I want to add another one of these, but I don't think I have enough steel. I have just enough, I think. Maybe we want conductive wire. Yeah, and then we're going to be out. So we'll have to bring some more steel back with us. Oh, we have a little bit right here. Let's empty this out. Might be enough to get what we need so that we can get the automation working and get this connected. I think 3 of these is enough to power the SPOM and still have extra power for the base. Especially because these aren't going to be running most of the time. We're going to work on getting the solar panels here built up. Once these get built, they're going to disable the old ones, so I'm going to have to be careful with that too if I'm going to keep these building. In fact, what I should do, cancel these 3. Actually, this one too. I should get the power connected to this first so that as I replace them and they block out the power here, we're not interrupting our power supply. So we have a few more things to get working on here, and then we'll head back, get some more supplies, and keep on moving here at Watano. It took about another 50 cycles in order to get it done, but we got all of our hydrogen pulled out of this room. I did have a little bit of polluted oxygen escape, so now I have a tiny bit of that in here to deal with, but I'm just going to leave it in there, I think. I'm getting ready to put in this gas vent, which will let me vent oxygen into the room to pressurize this up. And I'm just going to use a regular gas vent because it will automatically shut off when we get to 2K. We won't have any pressure issues. Yeah, polluted oxygen is everywhere here now, but that's fine. Just a little bit of escaped when it was down here. What I was doing down here is I kept having pressure issues on the walls, and I'm still going to have them until we get all this water out of the way. But in order to alleviate it, one of the problems was I didn't have enough polluted oxygen in here as what I would want. So I switched this tile out for airflow tile, and then I let the gas from here come over, and now I'm sealing it back up. This room, I got the airflow tiles pressurized by just putting polluted water in here, and it's off-gassing, or it did off-gas until the gas pressure in here got high enough for what I needed it to be. So now I have a pump down here that is pumping this water out of this system and running it through the filter, and then polluted water is going into here, regular water is going into here. For now, I have our main pump cut off until I get this room balanced out. And so all I'm waiting for now is I want to sweep these last few things out. I'm going to put in this automation so that I can control this pump, and then I'm sealing this up. I'm going to just put these 3 tiles in to seal it. That's going to let me close this off, and then once we pump out the water that's on top, all we'll have in here is the polluted water that comes out of the cool slush geyser, and I'll be able to run this directly into our storage without running it through the filter, and I'll be able to reconnect our regular water. So that's all good. A couple other things I did while we were working on that. This system is working. I don't have all the pumps in, so it's not running at super high efficiency, but we're getting oxygen and hydrogen out of it. The hydrogen doesn't have to run very often because I'm getting our solar panels connected. I still need more steel to really keep going with that project. I put in a printing pod, a mini pod here, so that we can start calling over or printing out things whenever we have a printable available. That way we can start getting some things on Watano that we don't have access to easily. So we just need to activate it, but we haven't done it yet because we have other things that are higher priority. So I want to get this finished so that it's all sealed up, and then I'm going to get the pumping going back on, and then we're going to let it run until we get all this water pumped up again. It's going slow, but it's going. I might put in, once I have some extra steel, I might put in another pump to speed the process up. We'll see. Not sure if I actually can without putting in another vent. I think once this is back up, I think that this is the maximum I can pump at a time, so it won't be, it won't matter. So probably just let it keep going. It's going to take a long time to get all the water out, but you know, it started up here, now it's here, and we haven't even been pumping the whole time, so that's fine. I do have some pressure issues over here. I'm concerned about these pressure issues. I think that they are just because of the water, and once I get this water out of here, it'll be fine, but I'm also not positive of that, so we'll just have to wait and see. Right now, I'm concerned that they're going to break, and I'm going to not have the supplies to fix them because I'm running low on everything here. But I'm going to finish up these last few things, get this sealed, and get pumping again, and we'll check back in before the end of the episode to see where we are at. I finished up in this room just in time for us to do what we need to do. It's pumping out the last little bit of this water. This goes active in 2.9 cycles. It won't matter if it mixes, I still have it running through the filter, but I had to change this tile here because I forgot to change it before I left, which means that this piece of sandstone is now going to be in there forever. It's going to drive me crazy. I'll probably go back in to get it later once I don't have water everywhere. But for now, it's going to be there. It happens. So we have this set up so that the piping is going through into the filter, and then the output goes here, and then I have a priority line so that it'll prioritize water coming out of the filter first, and then once this runs out, then we're going to have this water piping in going this way. So basically, now that I have this line connected, it will always have water going into our storage. If there's not water coming from here, it will be coming from here. So that's all good. I have this all sealed up and ready to go. These don't have power because I just haven't connected the power line because there's nowhere for them to go. I do have the line in there so that, oops, wrong thing. I just need to connect it if I want to use those. So I won't need to get back in there, which is good because getting back in there would be really, really difficult. Okay, so that's all done. Up here, I started pumping oxygen out through the vent. So now you can see there's still polluted oxygen in some of these areas, but the oxygen is starting to pressurize the room. Up here, we're actually getting to pretty breathable oxygen levels. Once we get it all pressurized, the polluted oxygen will probably get caught in just a couple of corners, and then I'll probably go and put down a deodorizer or something to get rid of it. We did get a colony achievement while we were doing that, so I'm going to load that up real quick to see. I'm not really sure what this is. It's possible that we got our last regular achievement, but I don't think so. Is it this one? Build a launch pad? No, that had to have been there before. We didn't get that one. Sometimes it highlights these, but it doesn't actually check them off. There it is. Radical trip. Have rad bolts travel a cumulative 10,000 or 10 kilometers, so 10,000 meters. Oh, that's because I rebuilt the rad bolt thing on the main colony so that we could start having steel launched again. What happened over there is I had a rad bolt generator here. Oh, that's why it's not working now. I had it facing the wrong direction. It overheated and ended up sitting down here, and this wasn't working. So now it's back to working. So now we're launching again. I guess I was shooting rad bolts into space. That's really effective. That's okay. Now it's working again. Steel is on its way. So we can continue on with some things. We're getting really close to the point where we're going to have to go back home because we're running low on food. We don't have any way to generate food here on Watano. So this rocket is nearing the end of its life. It's going to have to go back soon. But I'm just trying to get the last few things done that I can. This place is pretty sustainable. The power will keep running based on just what we have, using the water that we have for a long time, and the solar power. But I would kind of like to get some more pumps in here so that I can start running more water through here and producing more hydrogen and oxygen before I leave. But I need more steel to do that, so that's why I'm launching some more steel. I'm also running piping over to get this rocket platform set up when we come back. We need to have a liquid line that goes to where this will be when it lands over here, and then we need to do a gas line so that we can have oxygen going into the same spot, basically. And then we can dismantle this after the rocket goes home. Well, after it comes back again, because we won't have anybody here to do it. I think I'm going to try to make a rocket that can hold 2 passengers to get them back over here. That way, the next time I send a rocket over here, we can have a permanent resident living here. But that depends on me figuring out all the things I need to make this base sustainable for the long run, which means bringing over the supplies to make food. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, this is almost done getting all my water out of here. I'm not going to be able to get in here to mop up the last little bit. So when this pumps out polluted water, hopefully pushes the water to the middle. If this gets to the point where it's all just regular water, then we can switch off the filter. But for now, we'll just keep running it through the filter. It's not going to hurt anything. I do want to set this. Let's pump out now if it's above 150 kilograms, let's say. I just want to wait until this room gets filled back up with liquids. Hopefully that will push the water over to where it is. We'll see how it all balances out. We may just have to deal with the fact that there's going to be little tiny bits of water in here for a while until it works itself out. But it will eventually. This is all sealed, so the gases in here will be fine. I don't think we're going to have pressure issues. We may still have a few until we get this water level down. But now that we're not pumping any water here, you can see the water from the bottom of the map has started pumping again. And we are on our way to getting all of this water vacuumed up into our storage and getting this filled in. This I built here just to level out this floor. That way the water can all work its way over to the pump. And once we get the water down, we'll come down in here and explore what's in here, grab these pedestals, and everything will be good. But for now, we're going to call it an episode. in between episodes, I'll send the rocket back, get it resupplied, and we can do one final episode here on Watano, getting this set up as a permanent colony before we move on to another one. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.